Hi there, this is the modern sniper trap in the modern defence, and it demonstrates how white can deal with the fashionable sniper variation. After e4 and g6 the modern, d4 and bishop g7, white plays knight c3 and black goes for the sniper with c5. So this sniper variation, very fashionable at the moment, involves a bishop on g7 in coordination with this pawn push c5, which is going to help open up this long diagonal, and the queen will enter into the game via the d8 a5 diagonal. So white here can play d takes on c5, and when the queen comes out, hitting the knight now twice on c3, as well as threatening the pawn on c5, well, bishop d2 is simple and straightforward by white, giving back the pawn on c5. After queen takes on c5, a great try by white is this move, knight d5. Well, here black has to be very careful. There's all sorts of threats with bishop on b4, and perhaps black's best defense is simply to play knight a6. If black were to try e6, immediately kicking at the knight, then white has this fine continuation, bishop b4, hitting the queen, and then if the queen moves to c6, then bishop b5 hits the queen again, and the queen is all but lost. She can't capture the bishop on b5 because of knight c7, which is check, and queen, black is losing. So after the move knight d5, maybe black might be tempted to go for that maybe poison pawn on b2. Well, if bishop takes on b2, then rook b1, and now the bishop's going to back off to d4, attacking f2. But this shouldn't worry white too much. White can go with that same line, bishop b4, hitting the queen. Now, if the queen runs, then the bishop on d4 is dropping. It looks as if that bishop is on borrowed time anyway, so black will play bishop takes f2 check, and after king e2 the queen has to move but stay focused on the bishop on f2, so queen to d4, offering a trade of queens. White just drops the bishop back to c3, which hits the queen as well as the rook on h8, and now black is in serious trouble. If queen takes on d1, then rook takes on d1, and two of black's pieces are precariously hanging, white will be winning. So backing off, if instead of queen takes d1, how about queen c5? If the queen goes back to c5, well, white will first develop the knight to f3, and after knight f6, then bishop b4. Now the queen has to run. She has to remove herself from the guard of the bishop on f2. So if queen c6, then the king can simply capture that bishop on f2. And the last variation after bishop c3 is queen takes pawn on e4, gaining a pawn for her troubles, but that simply allows king takes f2, and basically white is materially ahead and will be winning this game. So this has been the modern sniper trap in the modern defense. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.